Allen, and this is the Chris Allen MMA show. Today I'm being joined again by one of Bellator's finest up-and-coming fighters at the moment. He's fighting at one of the best gyms in the UK at Team Renegade with some absolute killers down there. It's Mr. Aiden Lee. Aiden, how you doing, mate?
I'm good, thank you, mate. Yourself?
Yeah, not too bad, mate. Just I'd say enjoying lockdown, but I don't think you really can enjoy it, can you? But what have you been up to?
Just training, to be honest, Chris. Just grafting, man. There's nothing else to do, you know. Got to keep yourself occupied. So I've turned my house into a bit of a gym, and I've just been training hard.
So what have you done then? Because I've seen a lot of makeshift gyms on people's social media recently. What have you
really done? I still my strength coach still does the programs with me. So in terms of weights and that, he's got me doing a lot of body weight stuff and ISO stuff, and then Spar Bar hooked me up. Shout out Spar Bar. They hooked me up with a Spar Bar, so been grafting on that every day. Got myself some bars. Got a lot of stuff, man. But you know, you just got to make the best of the situation. If you think about MMA, there's so much stuff that we do anyway where you don't use any equipment. You look at shadow boxing, all these other things, you know. So you work on those things. You tend to neglect them things anyway, usually, because there's so much other stuff to do. So you focus on what you can focus on.
Yeah, I was actually talking to a Bellator fighter yesterday, Will Fleury, and he was saying when he's been shadow boxing, what's been funny is that usually when you're practicing your stand-up, you're hitting a bag, you're always impacting, but with shadow boxing, you're actually learning how to keep your balance more because obviously you're not connecting. Is that something you feel as well?
Yeah, there's pros and cons to every training, man. Like I think if you're doing too much bag work, you know, you can get used to. You end up just shortening your shots and hitting close up. You're not locking everything out properly unless you're focusing on those things. But you know, you can definitely focus on technique more with shadow boxing and balance. Yeah, man, pros and cons to everything.
Yeah, well, you must be absolutely buzzing, though. Obviously, that's what I was going to ask you. Is it must be killing you? You know, you've come off a fantastic. You've been in Bellator for 2 fights now. Obviously, you got your first Bellator win, which was fantastic. I was there to witness it. Which was actually, I've still got the picture on my Facebook page. I think it's all us lot and Team Renegade that came with you, man. Yeah, I've still got that after your fight because everyone said to me, they went, "Cool, all those other guys look all right, but what's happened to Aiden? He's got a little mark." I said, "He just fought."
A scratch on my face, man.
You know I said what, you should the other guy.
Other than the scratch off, it was I don't think I really got touched in the fight, man. But yeah, man.
No, I watched that fight back. Quite recently, actually. Again, what else can we do? I watched the whole of the card back because it's different from when you're sitting in the media row to actually watching it on the TV and hearing the commentators and stuff. And man, if you think of it, that was actually quite a good fight, mate, to watch. To be honest with you, good back. You threw a lot of head kicks. He wasn't really able to get any combinations off, I found. You know, was that part of the game plan sort of thing?
Well, like I don't normally game plan too much for fights. You know, you kind of have to take it as it comes. And same with that fight, I had to take it as it comes, but I had a broken hand going into the fight. So
really?
Straight away, I knew like that was a big thing.
Which hand? I couldn't tell which hand. That's all.
My left hand. If you watch it, knowing that, you will be able to tell.
I'm gonna watch
my left hand. I didn't really throw any left hand just through the fight. I threw it when I had to throw it, but otherwise I was just kind of pouring with it, and I had to just keep him long. I knew he could wrestle, so I was just keeping him long, keep him on the end of my kicks, and yeah, obviously I say you don't game plan, and I ended up choking him out, and that wasn't the game plan. So yeah, man.
Yeah, man, no, you took his back. Obviously, yeah, lovely, took his back, absolutely lovely there. I think it was one of the first times the fight went to the ground, I think, in that fight, if I remember rightly. I can't just think off the top of my head.
Yeah, I think that's the only time it hit the ground, you know, to be honest. I think he tried to take me down at the start of the third. I defended it and then had a little scramble and then I shot in and that was the end.
Yeah, it looked like not saying your kicks have always been brilliant, but it looked like you really crisped up some of your kicks as well. Like you're landing a lot of kicks, the body, the leg, a lot of head kicks and the front kicks as well. Really stopped him coming forward, which you could really tell was something he was struggling with the whole fight because he wanted to get in there and bang, obviously right in the pocket, but as you said, keep him on the outside.
I think it was definitely the story of the fight was the range, really, man. I just think I just kept the distance and kept him on the outside.
So what did you take from your first fight in Bellator? You know, when you fought in Birmingham, like, what did you take from that fight going into this fight?
So with the school fight, to be honest, even though the fights panned out very differently, Like I saw them as very similar opponents. Like
Yeah.
I felt like I was a better striker than both of them, and I felt like they were both gonna try and take me down. So it was just more with this whole fight. I had the mindset of, this is my debut. I'm just gonna go and get in there. I'm gonna take his head off. I'm gonna make a statement, and I think even in training for the fight, that was my mindset. So I was in that mindset of trying to take someone's head off. Every week I was boxing, sparring, having bros in the gym, and I think I just got in the fight, and I was too. I wanted to take his head off too much. I was looking for them big shots, and I landed some good shots on him, but that was why I was open for the takedown, and he took me down, and that was the story of that fight, man. I was landing on the feet, and he was getting the takedowns. Whereas in this fight, I just fought a bit smarter, didn't commit too much.
Yeah, you could read. Yeah, you could tell, as I said, what we were talking about a second ago, keeping the distance in, obviously really showed this one. And I said the Soul fight, as I said, it wasn't like you didn't go to A&E afterwards and sit in hospital for a week. It was
Nah.
just, unfortunately, he took you down. And do you reckon it was, well, before that, well, just do you reckon it's, it was your first fight in Bellator? You fought in big organisations like Cage Warriors as well and stuff like that, and you fought some seriously tough opposition for your career. I can definitely, anyone who wants to go check out your record, please check out the people you fought, mate, the people you've beaten. And but you're coming in your first into Bellator. You're with pretty much all of Team Renegade. Obviously you're in Birmingham, your hometown as well. Like, do you reckon that added to it? The whole, wanting to run out there and
Definitely, man. I think I'm experienced now. Even though I'm young, I'm quite experienced. So I'm used to fighting on the same card as my teammates and fighting at home, fighting away. But I think when I fought Saul, it was still probably he's probably the biggest name I fought. He's a big name
it was
especially over here in
stuff like
UK
that.
MMA, and I was hungry for the fight, but almost I was too excited. You have to go in there calm and collected, and I got in there too excited. I think with that fight, man, that was what it was.
But what a dream, though, mate. Apart from obviously the result, what a dream that your first fight in Bellator was against a huge name in your hometown. Like when you stood atop
Exactly.
that ramp and everyone was going mental when you came out, man, you must have been absolutely, feeling something you've never done before.
Exactly. That was all. That was all how I had to. It was a big decision going to Bellator on that, man. But fighting in my hometown, big fight. So yeah, man. It's all experience. Even though I lost the fight, I learned things from the fight and take it all into the future. And that's why I'm so hungry to get that rematch in the future. So yeah, man.
Yeah, well, that'd be great. I'd love to see that rematch. But you did have a matchup booked in for obviously Bellator London, obviously been cancelled for obvious reasons. First of all, with the cancelled fight, do you find I know it's not good for any fight to be, well, it's not cancelled, postponed, let's say. But it's not good to have any fight postponed. But do you what's the word I'm looking for? If you don't want to have it, it's been postponed now. So what you're looking for now is obviously you're now stuck in lockdown. You were training hard. You're coming off a big win in Bellator. But how does that feel? All of a sudden you've been grounded. There's this.
It's frustrating. It's frustrating, man. Like obviously I was 7 weeks out when it happened, and it's out of everyone's control. Even though I was training for the fight, I had it in the back of my mind. I was thinking, am I going to be like 2 weeks out, and then it's going to get cancelled? I don't know what's going to happen, but fair play to Bellator. They did it when they did it. It's probably better that they did it now than later down the line. Well, it is better, and it's postponed. It's not cancelled, and as far as I'm concerned, I'm still fighting Jeremy Petley. It's just at a later date. It's when all this blows over and when the card gets put back on. But in my mind, he's still my next opponent. So everything I'm doing now is for my next fight.
Yeah, man, makes sense completely. And had you actually officially started I know you're always training. I know all you boys at Renegade are always in training camp. But had you officially started your training camp for this fight coming up?
As you say, we're always training, man. But I'd started preparing for the fight. Yeah.
But and also is when I was looking at this guy as well, he's probably one of the more experienced people you fought as well. Like how much, like in the amount of fights he's had, like how much do you know about this guy? Yeah. How much do you know about this guy before you obviously got offered him?
I've had a look at him, man. Like he's very experienced. I knew who he was anyway because on the last card he was one fight before me on the last Bellator card, and he fought a guy that I fought before, and the guy was good. So he beat him.
Was that Tom Mearns?
Yeah, he beat Tom Mearns, and Tom Mearns tough, man. He's a tough fighter. So
yeah, man.
He just took him down, wrestled him. But again, it's skill sets and that. Tom Mearns and me had a tough fight, but that was earlier in my career, and he was just coming at me, and we had a striking fight. Whereas him and Petley didn't want to strike with Mearns, and he just wanted to take him down. And it's different, man. It's different skill sets, two different fighters, and me and Petley a different fight.
So what do you think? What do you think he's going to come at? I say that I don't want to give anything away. You know what I mean?
I can. Cause it's honestly at the end of the day, he's going to watch me fight. I watch him fight. He wrestles. He's going to try to wrestle most likely. He strikes a little bit, but don't really think he'll want to strike with me. And I'll be prepared for either. I've watched these fights, and I'm confident that I'll beat him.
And especially with the improvements you keep making every single time we see you, mate. Like I said, I really wouldn't be surprised, and I'm sure he'll be struggling for that takedown. And as you said, your last opponent, you trained for your last opponent who likes to try and take all his opponents down. So you're almost training to a similar sort of opponent like your previous one, would you say?
Yeah, I think a lot of these guys, it depends on the opponents, but a lot of these guys that I'm fighting definitely wanna shoot in and take me down. But I'm happy on the ground. I won my last fight by submission. I got more submissions than I got knockouts. I got a lot of submissions. So take me down if you want. I'm happy either way, man.
It's that Renegade Jiu-Jitsu, man. I know I've seen all the videos online.
Exactly, Renegade 101, man.
Absolutely. Mate, what's coming out, I know I've said it a million times, what's coming out of that gym is incredible. Like, this was going to be a huge year for all of you, in all different organisations. You had Jai coming up from Cage Warriors, you had Natty still going to be defending his title, Yannick's going to be coming back, obviously Leon was going to be fighting Tyron, Fabian was fighting Van Steed. It was just such a crazy first 6 months of the year for you guys, really, wasn't it? Like,
timing is crazy, really. The timing is crazy, man. Like the amount of big fights that are about to happen for our gym, but all these fights are still going to happen, man. When it's all blown over, even if they change, our gym's going the same way, man. We're going up, so whatever happens, man.
And I see you're always having lots of new fighters come to join you from around the country. I see Tim Wilds joined you recently, another Bellator name. I know Ross Houston. I think he's been there for a year or so now, but he's come down and trained. And even your AMI guys coming through. We've got one of your colleagues on the show later, Mo Zubair. He's coming on, and he's really coming through as well. And it just shows the level that's coming out of there, mate. And what I've always wondered with you guys is like who I've noticed you have certain like cornermen, like Leon's generally with you a lot as well. But how do you decide who corners who in the fights?
You kind of know, man. Like we're all a close team, so it's we're all training together every week. Sometimes some guys can't corner. We've got so many guys fighting all the time. Some guys might be busy one weekend. Some guys might not be busy. For the bigger fights, you generally who you've been training with more, and it just you kind of know at the time. It's just down to the fighter, though. Really, I don't think anyone gets told who they're gonna have in their corner. As a fighter, you have who you're more comfortable with, what coaches you're more comfortable with. Obviously, we all train at Renegade, but we also all do other things. We all do boxing, we all do Thai boxing. We all have other coaches as well. So that also plays a factor.
So what's the main thing down at Renegade then? Is it mainly the jiu-jitsu side of things, or is it just a general all-rounder?
Obviously, it's a jiu-jitsu gym. It opened as it's Renegade Jiu-Jitsu, but because we got so many MMA guys, we got MMA sessions every day now. We'll have pro training for the MMA guys every day. So that would be MMA wrestling or a striking session or a grappling session, but we kind of cover all aspects. And then obviously, as well as the MMA training, you have your full jiu-jitsu timetable as well. So they got the gi jiu-jitsu, the no gi, everything. And then we have striking classes as well. So yeah, man, we're ticking all boxes, man. And we're looking at doing big things soon as well, man. You just keep watching Renegade, and you'll see.
And everyone knows I'm the biggest fanboy of Team Renegade anyway, mate. So there's no point in me trying to be neutral or hiding it. You know what I mean? I think I've spoken to more of you guys than anyone, to be honest with you. But no, mate, it said big things coming out. So how did you initially get into Renegade? Like, how did you initially walk through those doors into Renegade, mate?
Well, I always trained with Tom Breeze. So, you know, I was training at Fearless MMA. So you know we got a lot of guys that train over there and train at Renegade. I still go over there and do bits myself. But I was training at Fearless. I think Tom was teaching the MMA over there, and you know I was training with Case and Cam over there as well. And just as through my career, you know, I was doing more and more with Tom, and then he went to Renegade. I kind of went over there with him. We were working on my jiu-jitsu, and then obviously UTC closed. Them guys were already doing jiu-jitsu with us. We were doing a bit of MMA training together, and then they all come over as well. And slowly, everyone's just come over, man. You know, and then it's not like we had no fighters in Birmingham. All of us were already fighting, but now we're all under one roof and grafting, man. So the levels just go up.
And you've been quite lucky as well, because a lot of people have to go between many gyms before they find the right one. Like, how blessed you feel that you managed to walk into that one at that time, you know, and now looking back to looking at now, you know, how
Definitely, man.
Since day one almost, wasn't it?
It's exactly what I say to all the amateur guys at Renegade, man. It's exactly what I say. You know, you could spend so long training at so many different places, trying to find the right training, and like even in terms of like, you know, from your boxing training to your MMA training to your strength and conditioning. Like I've done some crazy shit over the years, man. Like in my older fights when I was training, because you don't know any better. But now because we've got so much good guys in one place, it's these amateur guys they can't go wrong. You know, all they have to do is ask someone, and you know you got all these high level guys on the mat, and they're going to give you the right advice, point you in the right direction.
Well, yeah, obviously these guys walk in the gym and they're starting to see Cage Warriors champion, you know, like UFC fighter, Bellator fighters. It's just like, well, what's all these belts everywhere? You know what I mean, sort of stuff. And you know what I mean, they're definitely stacking up down there, Aiden. And I can definitely see the way you're going. You'll be heading up to that sort of place soon, man. You know what I mean? I'd love to see you, you know, in one of the Grand Prix as well. Is that something you'd like to compete in? Well, I guess winning $1 million at the end isn't the end of the world, is it?
Exactly. That was kind of when I signed with Bellator. That was my main. At the time, that was my goal. You know, I wanted to fight Score, beat Score, I'll be in the Grand Prix, and then obviously that's what he did. He went on to the Grand Prix, but he lost to Whiteshaw. But yeah, man. If they do another Grand Prix, I'm on that, man.
Yeah, but I love how Bellator do that, mate. These Grand Prix, they're fantastic. I'd like to see every weight class do one, you know, sort of thing. Because
definitely,
I find it makes people actually, you know, I'm not saying not everyone goes in there. Some people go in there for a paycheck. Some people go in there for a career. Do you know what I mean? And I find when you have people in a tournament, I don't know. It's just I find they try that a little bit more, you know, especially like in the semi-finals, the quarterfinals.
It takes a bit of hype as well, doesn't it? Like it kind of it's exciting even for the fans, you know. Like I'm not in that tournament, but it's still I want to see who wins it. You know, it's exciting. But definitely, it's a good idea.
Yeah, man. There's that one coming up now, a Pedro Carvalho fight as well. That's going to be fantastic. He's a localish boy. He's SBG Island fighting for the title as well. And yeah, I'm telling you, they all need to watch out over this side of the water, mate. It's all the hype around, you know, the Americans and Brazilians. But I tell you what, mate, British MMA, definitely the fastest growing sport here. If not, it's already grown, you know.
Definitely. Got a lot of guys on the rise, man.
Yeah, man. I know there is this. You're sitting there, yeah, lots of guys on the rise, you know. But yeah, man. No, you're definitely up. You're definitely up there, man, 100%. And I said, later on this year, hopefully it won't take too long, because at the moment we don't know how long we'll be stuck in this situation for. So, what do you do? How do you stop turning into a light heavyweight, man?
Keep training, man. Keep getting the runs in. That'll keep my weight down. To be honest, you'll never see me out of shape, man. So I don't really get too heavy. People think I'm a big feather, but I don't really get heavy out of camp, man. So I'll just keep training, man.
That's good then, because I said whenever we see you fight and weigh in, you don't look too drawn and you've cut loads of weight and dehydrated or anything. You actually look pretty healthy for that weight class, you know. So
yeah.
you find that contributes, obviously, because you can see your cardio is fantastic as well in there when you fought in your last fight, you know? And do you find that, because that other guy you fought, he definitely cut some weight, you know what I mean? He was a bit larger. So do you find that really contributes to your like level of cardio and able to do what you do and go for longer? Like, I'm sure you could go 5 rounds.
No, definitely. I just see it as it's all my training, to be honest. Like I'm sure even having a good cut. Well, I know because of from experience, but having a good cut, if you ain't trained and prepared properly, you're gonna get tired in the fight. So, you know, I just see cardio and how I'm gonna be in the fight as part of my training. My cut is my cut. If my cut was ever too big, I just wouldn't do it. I'd just say I'm gonna fight a lightweight, but my cut is fine. So I know I'll perform in the fight because I'll be how I am in the gym.
Yeah, man, you're definitely a good height and size for the weight class as well, because especially with your striking skills, and obviously you're long as well, so you're able to wrap people up on the floor like we saw in your last fight. You know, and it really shows. Do you think you can go any lower, or is that just getting unhealthy?
Oh, like bantamweight.
Yeah.
I wouldn't want it to be like.
Nah.
I'm sure if I wanted to force myself to get my weight to that and then stand on the scales and then rehydrate, probably could, but why? You know,
Exactly.
It's not good for your health, and what I'm doing now works. I get in the cage feeling how I feel in the gym, and that's what you want to do. I don't want to be beating guys because I'm bigger than I want to be beating them because I'm a better fighter than them, and that's why I do beat them. And
love it. That's the attitude to have. And I'm glad you said that as well, because some fighters go, yeah, I'd have a go at that if the money's right. I'm like, yeah, but think about your health, man. Do you know what I mean? Like, it's not good for you.
it's not like
but
it's not kind of, you know, beating someone because you're bigger than them. It's not, you know, you
and
ain't
obviously
gonna feel like good for it.
no, exactly. It's like, oh, I was just bigger than you. That's why I just lie on top of you for 3 rounds, you know, because I weigh a hell of a lot more. But also, obviously, it's good that you have that attitude, because obviously a lot of the youngsters coming into the MMA world, like especially the ones that are training with you, yeah, I know you're still young, but they're probably looking up to you now and seeing what you're doing and how you're getting there.
Nah, definitely, man. Like I say, we got a lot of good amateur guys in the gym, man, and they got all the guidance they want because they've got so many good guys, good pros in the gym for them to come and ask.
Yeah, what I'd like to see is, I know Cage Warriors do it. They have like the Cage Warriors Academy, which is like the amateur side of things. So I'd love Bellator, love Bellator to start up something like that. You know, like get some of these guys through.
Maybe in the future, man. I personally, I think the IMAF is a good like system. If I was amateur when that was around, I would have definitely tried to do that. You know, that would have been a goal of mine. So I think all the amateurs should be definitely trying to get to like nationals, and you know, if you're winning IMAF World Championships, that's definitely gonna boost your career and progress you for when you do go pro.
Yeah, man, I agree. And you look at some of the IMAF, you look at some of the best fighters going now, they are in the IMAF and they may have got to the final or maybe not won it. But then you look at them now and it just comes down to the experience at such a young age that you get to go through that.
Exactly.
I'll be asking, you can tell me to piss off. How old are you now?
I'm 24.
Oh, he's still young, man. That's it. I've got 9 years. I've got 9 years in you, jeez. Yeah, man. So you're still 24. You haven't even hit your prime yet. You know, and I'm sure you're feeling like, you know, you're doing the best at the moment. But you know, you've got so much time going forward. Like, where do you see yourself, mate, in like the next couple? Let's say lockdown isn't for the rest of the year for a start. Okay, so where do you see yourself in the next like couple of years, mate? You know.
Definitely winning the Bellator title. You know, that's not even a long-term goal. You know, I'm looking at that in the next few years, man. I smashed my next three fights. You know, what am I going to be looking at then?
Yeah.
You know, I've spoken to management and I'm confident, man. I'm already looking at opponents. You know, I look at the best guys in the division, and you know, I looked at like Saul fought Whitechel. Whitechel fought for the belt. You know, he fought Pitbull and had a good fight, and you know, Whitechel and Saul, they were going at it on the feet. It was like a back and forth on the feet, and oh man, it's just I can't wait to fight at that level. You know, because I'm gonna smash these guys.
Yeah, man, that'd be good to get that soul fight back though, just to show like how much you've changed. Like not straight away. I'd like to see maybe a couple of wins, then get soul fight, and then it just shows that you did, depending how he's doing, obviously as well. But and because obviously he's fought in the UFC, like the Ultimate Fighter and all that stuff, you know. So
fought Arthur, fought Ryan Hall, fought a lot of guys, man.
Exactly, and it's when you're training in America. Like, have you trained abroad before? Or has it always been strictly Renegade?
Yeah, I've been abroad quite a lot, to be honest. I trained at TriStar. That was
Really?
the first
Nice,
place I went abroad. Yeah, I went there for 6 weeks. That
amazing.
was really good, man. Got
Who
some
did
good
you
mates there.
Sorry to try. Who did you train with at TriStar, man?
Did a lot. Obviously, I went over when Breeze was there. But I was doing a lot with Farage, Eric O'Keefe, Joel Duffy, Stevie
Oh,
Ray was there at the time, Chad LaPriest. It was really good experience,
top
man. And
top name.
I've got some links with the jiu-jitsu guys as well when we were there. And since then, I've gone with Tom to Henley Gold Gracie's. So we've trained with a lot of the good guys up there. I did some training with like Gary Tonan, Dana Hard, Gordon Ryan, like sick.
And have you been anywhere else at all as well? So you went to TriStar. Anywhere else? Any other countries you've been to?
Went to New York to go to Henley Gold Gracie.
That was in New
And I
York.
went
Sorry,
to
yeah.
yeah, and I went to, was it last year or year before? I went to Iceland. I went to Iceland before Leon fought Gunnar.
Nice, mate.
Yeah,
You went to Iceland. Quality. So,
yeah,
what was the reception like out there? It says, I don't know, Leon. Like, who's Leon?
yeah. It was before the fight, but it was really good training, man, and they're good guys. They looked after us, and it was good training. We're all martial artists, man. Like there's some guys out there that are like, it's different, man. But we're martial artists. We went there, train together, up to levels, and then come back, and I'm back with my teammate, and we're training as normal, no politics.
Mate, it's just amazing, man. What you've done already at 24 years old. You've been to TriStar. You fought through Cage Warriors. You went to Iceland. You went to New York. Then you went into Bellator. You're a Bellator fighter. In how many years ago did you go to? How many years ago did you go to Canada?
Uh, I went there after my pro debut, so I had my first fight on Bama, and then I think about 2 weeks later, I flew out to TriStar.
Nice, man. Oh yeah, I
So
forgot to mention. Yeah, never an easy route for this man. He thought he'd have his pro debut at Bama. One of the biggest organisations in the UK at the time. So I love
yeah,
it, man.
huge push up.
And then you come to Bellator, fight one of the toughest guys in your career, and just that's what I like, mate. You're not interested in these bloody easy padded out fights, man. You just want to
Yeah,
fight the
man.
best, and if you don't fight the best, how are you going to know what level you need to be at?
Exactly, like you say, you peak at 30, and I don't want to be experiencing things when I'm peaking. Like, I've never fought guys like that can wrestle like this or strike like this. I want to experience all this now, and by the time I'm peaking, man, that's going to be nothing to me.
Exactly, mate. That's the way to be, because you see it a lot now, even with some of the even people higher up. They're undefeated, but then they get their first loss and they don't know how to deal with it. They're like, "Whoa, I've just lost." I
Yeah,
have
man.
like a mental breakdown or something. You know what I mean? But again, if you deal with those issues early on, especially in your amateur careers as well, it's just, as you said, it's all the experiences that lead to where you are today. And it's just amazing, like what you're doing at the moment. And I said a lot of people should look at what you're doing and see, like, wow, he's done all these people. He's gone from Cage Warriors, Bellator, Bama, all this sort of stuff. He's travelled around the world and training at one of the best gyms in the UK at the moment, mate. So you've got to look back and think, I'm 24 and I've done pretty well.
Yeah, man. Definitely, definitely. I was aiming a lot higher than where I am now, man. Like the
Of
guys will
course,
tell you, some of the guys at the gym, like I thought I was gonna be world champion by now, So I'm behind on my goals, but if you're aiming high, you're always gonna do well, man. Like I set my goals high, and if I don't achieve them, I'm in a better position than I was when I started trying to work towards them.
yeah, man. Well, Randy Couture was double your age when he retired. Do you know what I mean? So you've got
Yeah,
plenty
so
of time, man.
I'll be honest, I don't want to be fighting at that age, man. I don't. You won't see me in a cage at 48.
Only cornering people.
Only cornering.
So do you do anything at Renegade, like help out with lessons, or do you do lessons elsewhere when you're outside the cage to keep yourself busy?
Yeah, I teach at Renegade as well. Cover like Nogi or MMA, and I have a striking class every week as well that I teach. Most of the fighters, the pros, we all teach a little bit there as well. Fabian will teach striking there. Leon will do some MMA. Breeze teaches a lot of Nogi and MMA. Um, So yeah, man, you come to Renegade, you get a bit of everyone, man.
Yeah, but Breeze is a beast on the floor. I remember him back in his days, mate, of fighting, and yeah, you don't want to go on the floor with that guy. He knows what he's doing. It was nice when we saw him fighting. It was like, oh, we got some UK guys who are solid at jiu-jitsu now, you know. And it's because back when I started watching MMA, it was UFC back in late '90s. Obviously, jiu-jitsu in the UK, well, mainly everywhere, wasn't known of. But how far do you think now wrestling and jiu-jitsu has come in the UK? I think it's massive now.
Well, if you look at our fighters, to be honest, if you look at our fighters, for example, you know, and when they're fighting guys, like you look at Leon in the UFC, who I don't think anyone's got better wrestling on the cage than Leon in the division, to be honest. Yeah. And you're looking at the guys in the division, you know, he fought Gunnar. Gunnar's, you know, a very good grappler.
Oh yeah.
But he nullified the grappling against the cage, and so it's MMA wrestling is not wrestling, and in terms of MMA wrestling, we're up there, man. If you look at our guys when we're fighting, we show a very, very good level, man. So I don't think there really is a big gap anymore. I think obviously a lot of the Americans that wrestle from a young age, they're going to be like more. They've been in the positions more, you know. Once they're on a single leg or they're on a double, of course they're gonna be able to go quicker on the positions. But you know, they can't even get to their positions, you know. It's different. Man, you're not just going to shoot in an MMA. You got to worry about someone kneeing you in the face, or like, it's a different game.
That's it, mate. I'll tell you what, I feel sorry for anyone who has to wrestle with Yannick in there as well. You know, that just get him on top of you and just try and get up. You know, that's what you need to try and do, I think.
You don't want Yannick sprawling on you.
No, I'll probably go out cold if he sprawled on me, to be fair, if I went face first into the ground. Yeah, man. I remember I spoke to him at Bellator Birmingham as well. He's a lovely guy. And when I was chatting to him, he went on and said something, yeah, I fought a middleweight. And I looked at him and I went, you fought a middleweight? I was like, really? This guy's got like veins across his chest and stuff. You know, I'm like, Jesus.
I think his titles were at middleweight, actually.
Wasn't that in South Africa? When he was in South Africa, he fought middleweight.
Yeah. BAMMA champ and EFC champ.
Yeah, man, that's solid, mate. More belts for Renegade, man. You must be thinking, right, my turn now. You lot can just calm down. I'm going to get the next
man. Yo, I slipped up on the Cage Warriors one, but yo, I'll get this Bellator one.
That's it, man. Exactly. Get the Bellator one. I think even didn't Mo win a title, GP UK belt or something as well?
Yeah, I think our amateur guys have got a lot of bouts, to be honest, man. If you look at them, we got guys with like 3-4 bouts. So yeah, man. Amateur guys are smashing.
I can't wait to see people like yourselves. Like I still call you the younger generation, but I still can't wait to see yourself and younger. Like what's in? I'm just looking at the next 5 years' time. Like look at the level of talent we're going to have from UK coming through, and they're all starting to train with you guys at Renegade. They're training at great gyms around the UK, man. Do you think like these? You see yourself and these youngsters, mate. It's just the next thing, the new breed.
Definitely, man. Like it's just the next wave of fighters. It's the evolution of fighting, isn't it? If you look at MMA like 20 years ago, it was pretty low level. If you watch them guys now, they would be low level, but at the time it was crazy. You know, same now. These guys are a high level at the top, but in another 20 years' time, you know, it's just the evolution. That's why you got to keep getting better, because it leaves you behind.
That's why this is the best sport in the world, man. That's why I love this sport so much. It's just doesn't matter who you are. There's always different techniques, different ways of doing things. You learn something new every single day, and I'm sure you're all learning new things every day. And maybe some of these amateurs are teaching you a few little tricks as well every now and then.
Definitely, man. Like I'll be honest, man. I've seen like some of our amateur guys do pull off little tricks in fights and that, and I've copied it, man. I've took it. It's my trick now, you know.
Quality, man. I love it, mate. Absolutely love that. And I just love everything that you guys do down there, everything you're doing at the moment, mate. And to be honest with you, I can't wait to see you all get back in that cage again, because I was absolutely buzzing for Bellator London, catching up with you all, getting to see you all fight again. But again, we got to do this. Let's get through this lockdown situation and we'll see what happens, mate. Let's hopefully, even if we get you in the cage later on in the year and there's no crowd, it's behind closed doors, it still gets you back in there, you know. That'd be weird, wouldn't it? Imagine that. No noise, nothing.
Yeah, like, I was honestly mentally preparing myself for that anyway, for this next fight. So I thought if it does happen, it's most likely going to be behind closed doors, but obviously then they cancelled it. But you know, you gotta treat it as it is. Don't man, it's a fight still. You know, the other guy's going through the same thing. He might let it affect him, but you can't let it affect you.
No, man. Let's get to that desert island that Dana White's building somewhere. Keep reading about. Yeah. I think we should do like Fight Club, like the film Fight Club. Like no one can talk about it. You know what I mean? Let's just in underground basements, one-on-one, one cameraman. That's it.
Pit fighting, man, underground.
Hay bale style, man. Yeah. Anyway, man, I tell you what, I'll let you get over your day, Aiden, mate. But again, as always, mate, I love chatting to all of you guys, and honestly, I really appreciate you coming on. But before you go, I know you've mentioned a lot of them already, but just give a shout out to anyone that helps you get to where you are, any sponsors, anything like that, mate.
Don't want to miss no names.
I know. Well, let's just say all are Renegade.
Shout out to everybody at Renegade, all my coaches, Priory Park, Paul Goff, Damien Trainer, Crusader, Velocity. Shout out to all my coaches, and shout out to Sparbar, hooking me up with Sparbar. That's been doing me good right now in training.
What is the Sparbar, by the way?
The Sparbar.
What is it? I don't even know what it is.
Just gonna. How do I do this? Have I disappeared?
I can see you.
No.
You try to turn the camera on?
Yeah. I'm trying to. Yeah,
Which
spin you off, man. It's that thing. You've probably seen them.
Oh yeah, it spins back round and yeah.
Yeah, but it's one of them. They're pretty good. Shout out to Sparbar hooking me up. Feel supreme. And yeah, we'll call it there. Shout out to everybody helping me.
Man, if you miss one,
we'll call it there.
They all know who they are, man. That's the most important thing. And again, they know they are. You have such a big support in your gym with all. It's like a family down there. And I said, you're all climbing up the ladder together, mate. And honestly, I can't wait to see what yourself and the UK MMA scene brings, mate. It's going to be exciting.
Respect, Chris. Thank you.
Cheers, Aiden, mate. Have a good day, and try not to drive yourself mental staying indoors. Just stay on the spot bar.
I try not to. Stay safe.
Man.